were around the people. We danced, we did,
Yeah, bring it back over.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. We have a whole lot to run through. We have limited time. I think we'll have. I won't get you 1 hour 30 minutes in the next 2 weeks. Let's see which day can fit you.
Sure, no problem.
So we run through a whole lot. But what do you know about this port autonomy bill? I keep hearing your name around it. What do you know about it?
The Port Autonomy Bill is intended to give autonomy and to decentralize the various ports in this country, including future ports that will be built.
But people say you people are doing it for selfish reasons.
So, after this government, the port will be turned over to certain lawmakers. Right? You know, sometimes when people bring some argument for the sake of the debate or argument, we don't waste our time. In our port bill, it is the president of Liberia who will appoint various port managers. So if Bwaka is not in office tomorrow, the next president will have the authority to do that. So, and nobody owns the port. It's interesting that every time this port bill issue comes up, yet they attach it to certain people, especially when it comes to the port of Buchanan.
They said that's the reason why you people are pushing it. The Buchanan port, and these ports cannot stand alone. They don't have the ability and all that. Why are you?
The senators of Sino County voted for the port bill. The senators of Maryland County voted for the port bill. If anybody brings this kind of unreasonable, illogical argument that it is about the port of Buchanan, it's up to them. You see, we always want change, but we don't want to change. We always crave for change, but we don't want to accept change. I hear people talking about port having contract for this number of years and all the things attached to the port bill. When the ports become autonomous, each of them, if they inherit a contract, those contracts remain valid. And after the term of those contracts or existing contracts, then those autonomous ports will go into negotiations for themselves.
Is that a reason the president has vetoed it and may veto it again like we're hearing?
Well, we will leave the wisdom of the president to decide. The president vetoed the bill, not the bill. If you look at it, the president has vetoed that bill once. It's the third time it has, left the Capitol building. The president vetoed it once. The second time, it was a voluntary withdrawal to correct some stuff from the legislature. Then we passed it, and then the House concurred with it. This port bill has been around the legislature for over a year. And without attempting to sound disparaging to any of my colleagues, for a lawmaker to say he or she has not seen the port bill is troubling. And it should,
Did the leadership of the House share it? Because the one who comes from the House.
okay, so we leave that to the House. But the House concurred with the Senate. And this is the third time that the House is concurring with the Senate on this port bill issue. And when one or two lawmakers come out and say they did not see it, especially from the House, we leave it to that House, to that chamber.
What could happen if the president were to veto it again? Will you do the
So I wanted to give a bit of education. The president did not veto the bill.
Okay.
The president did line veto.
What does that mean?
It means the president said one or two sections in the bill were conflicting with some authorities from other institutions, like maritime functions, blah, blah, blah. In the president's letter, the only veto letter, the president wrote a 6-page communication detailing the account of the importance of that bill and how it is in line with his decentralization agenda for the country. It is in that communication. Those who run with propaganda and make it appear as though the president is anti this bill and one group of people in the legislature pushing it. It is the agenda of the administration led by the president. But the president, after review of the attorney general, the president spotted one or two few sessions in the bill that we should, and he said he was asking the legislature to reconsider those, and we did. And we sent it to him, and we look forward to his wisdom to approving it. If the, I think my colleague from the House, Muka Kamara, seems to have been struggling with what happens if the president vetoes, and I think he was struggling with that information. If the president vetoes, it can only become law if the president vetoes the entire bill or session thereof, and the legislature with 2/3 majority of both houses override. They call it to override the veto.
Okay.
Or to the measure, and it stays at the executive measure 21 days and beyond. Even if the president has not acted, it becomes law after 21 days. Once it is laid on his desk, and the 21 days begin from the day it was transmitted to the executive measure and officially signed for by the proper authority. 21 days begin from there.
You have been around politics. You've been around legal people and all that stuff. You are an apprentice legal person and also a politician. District number 10 is confusing a whole lot of people. I've seen some publications. I've seen some concerns about do they still have a lawmaker or not, or what is it? What this whole district thing? What do you make of it? It appears like an eyesore on our politics.
Why you want to start controversy already with our conversation? Look, politically, district number 10 does not have an active lawmaker. Legally, there is no vacancy yet in district number 10.
What is the difference?
The difference is that the House of Representatives took an action to expel Representative Yege Koluba. Representative Yege Koluba sought relief at the court. From every understanding, the matter is still seized at the court. Until the court finally rules, there is no legal vacancy in district number 10. And who knows, maybe after the court rules, and the court may determine, the court may rule in favor of Yeke and ask the House to pay him retroactively, because the matching in law, and what is not done legally, is not done at all. So politically, Yeke can go away. His man has been, according to their rules and their action. But look, I keep saying, if you have, look, let me be the Darius Dillon that people know. You got a constitution with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at Article 38.
Constitution where you did.
Yeah.
This is the OK conversation on OKFM 99.5. We have with us Senator Abraham Darius Dillon. I have this thing on my phone here.
And while you're looking for it, let me announce that we're doing relay of this interaction.
That you report here.
Oh, but enemy.
So if you anyway, you can
please
you
announce.
can be hosting your own show. So that's it.
So please announce or allow me to announce.
Okay.
That
you are allowed.
The Radio Bourgeois 98.1 is relaying or doing simulcast of this interaction. Thanks to OKFM for allowing.
Okay, Article 38.
Yeah.
Article 38 says, Article 38, yeah. Each house shall adopt its own rules of procedure, enforce order, and with the concurrence of 2/3 of the entire membership, may expel a member for cause. Each house shall establish its own committees and subcommittees, provided, however, that the committees on revenue and appropriation shall consist of one member from each committee. All rules adopted by the legislature shall conform to the requirements of due process of law laid down in this constitution.
That last part, read it again. That properly served. There's a problem.
Because who's
supposed to serve the writ? It is the court. And from the Supreme Court level, it is the marshal. From the circuit court level, it is the sheriff. From the magisterial level, it is the bailiff, the court bailiff.
Oh, that's the difference there. So we
Yeah.
can't be missing it.
Right. The magisterial court has bailiffs. They are officers of the court. And the circuit court has sheriff. And the Supreme Court has bailiff, marshal. And deputy marshals are the highest rank. And when the Supreme Court seems to be depriving or delaying justice on its own fault, we're in trouble. That is why, with the action of the House having the constitutional authority and right to expel a member, did expel a member according to their rules, but the affected member say, you did not follow due process. Supreme Court, please tell my friend that they won't move me. Let them follow due process. Let them accord me due process laid down in the Constitution. And the only authority that can define what the Constitution says is the Supreme Court. When the court seems reluctant to act, that's a problem. That is why, since the action against Yeke, the House cannot write the Elections Commission to announce or declare vacancy in December number 10, because there is a prohibition on that action that has not been lifted. And Yeke's prayer for the court to determine whether he was accorded due process or not has not been answered. It is before the court. Somebody needs to speak up. I didn't come here to defend Yeke. The thing about the respect for the rule of law. And when the final arbiter of justice is depriving somebody of speedy, fair, and impartial trial, it's troubling.
What could this mean for democracy for the future, especially if it is not Yeke's fault that one should have been served wasn't properly served?
It is troubling, and I don't know a better word right now to say. Every time we think the person who is being victimized by injustice is not one of ours, it's not one of those who we like, so let it happen to him or her, we too are perpetrating injustice when we don't speak, when we have voice. The Supreme Court is becoming an embarrassment in this matter. It must speak as in acting. Deny a man justice, deny a prohibition and say why, or uphold his prohibition and say why. You can't leave it in abeyance.
Because there is a whole district that is not being represented politically.
And in Castilla, I'm going to get in trouble with this. People don't know what the rights offer. Your district is not being represented.
And
nobody asks me any question. Maybe they're okay with it. But you see, there will be no vacancy filled in district number 10 unless the Supreme Court rules. And somebody needs to be taught on the fire on the turtle's back to get the Supreme Court to wake up and act. Forget about Yeke. Why is the court not acting? Why did the court not hold itself responsible when it failed to properly serve the writ on the House of Representatives? What administrative?
But don't you think, by the court admitting that it did not properly serve in that conference and blah blah blah, and then they moved the matter to the full bench, is it not embarrassing? doesn't that place the court in a very difficult position? What do they say now?
What is more embarrassing? Depriving somebody justice, denying them justice by the delay, or to take administrative action on the matter and then proceed with the matter and dispose of it in keeping with law, in keeping with the mandate of the Constitution. This court has ruled and to define due process. Due process is essentially defined as a process that hears before it condemns. And I will add, before it acquits, because hearing may not only lead to condemnation, it can also lead to acquittal. That's justice. Now, the Supreme Court defined all the elements that constitute due process. When somebody is accused, especially where they will be deprived a fundamental constitutional privilege or right, liberty to property, freedom, life, job, that person must be heard. They must be represented by a lawyer, and the lawyer must be given, according to the Supreme Court ruling in the Green Manor case versus the House of Representatives, it said the lawyer must be given unhindered access to speak and properly represent his lawyer. In the Yaga case, his client. In the Yaga case, the House said, thank God you brought your lawyer, but the player will get our own lawyer can tell you. The Supreme Court said no in the Greenspan case on due process. The Supreme Court defined due process and with all of the elements contained therein. And I will insist, close it out to Yeke.
It could be anybody.
It could be anybody. So, in closing on this matter, District number 10 is politically out of representation, but there is no legal vacancy. The House cannot announce vacancy. It cannot declare it at the Elections Commission because the general principle of our legal practice and almost everywhere is that when the Supreme Court takes an action, gives an instruction, all public entities and public officials, including the general public, must take judicial notice and act accordingly. There is a prohibition on Yeke case, so Yeke is not legally removed yet. So the House, if it writes the Election Commission, even from political standpoint, the Election Commission is on judicial notice.
Not to act.
Not to act, because to do so, it is contemptuous and it's an affront to the authority of the court. Sadly, the court itself is diminishing its own authority by the questionable delay in handing down this matter.
You were talking about rule of law and reforms. What are the kinds of reforms you want to push for? I don't know if I could tease your mind on this whole former officials, Samuel Toy and others case, and the issue with the jurors and the quote-unquote setting aside after some investigation of the verdict for a new trial. What do you make of it?
Yeah, so before I come to that, when we return by early October to the session, I will be suggesting several reforms built from the judiciary. First, 3 senior legal people in our country, when Yami Gracie, his honor, was nominated as Associate Justice Honor President Weah, I, being a member of the Judiciary Committee of the Senate responsible to hear his confirmation, I asked him, what source of authority granted to one justice in chamber to decide that he or she will decline issuing a writ, thereby forever depriving or denying somebody justice? Because if he filed petition for prohibition before a justice in chamber, when you hear that the justice in chamber declined to issue the writ, that means they've taken no action. That means you can't take appeal to the full bench.
Mm.
When the justice in chamber decides on denying, when you hear they deny the writ, the petition for prohibition, that one justice in chamber, when he hears it is denied, that means there was a conference, there were, they heard the matter, the justice in chamber heard the matter out of a conference and reasoned by law to deny issuing the writ prayer for. That denial stands as a decision of that justice in chamber that you can take appeal from to the full bench. If the justice in chamber issues the writ, that is a decision you can appeal from if you on the other side and deny and thought that the writ should not be issued. But if the justice in chamber look at the petition and say, I decline, I'm not taking no action, your fight, your search for justice ends right there. You can't go before the full bench. My question was to Yanni Wesley when he was Associate Justice nominated, when he was even nominated as Chief Justice under our government here. The same applied to CNN Your Honor when she was nominated as Chief Justice, and including the current Associate Justice, Waka Kana, His Honor. None of them could give me any clear answer. They say it's discretionary. What gives you? What legal instrument, what source of law gives you your one, that authority to deprive somebody justice just by sitting and declining, using your discretion? So we'll be reviewing that. Two, you see most of the criminal cases being delayed at the various criminal courts is because, from my experience from Justice Ministry where I was in prosecution, I was special assistant to the Solicitor General. Most times when they charge people with criminal offense, the main trial can take more than 2 weeks. When they enter into the main trial, it can take more than 2 weeks.
So why the delays?
The delay is the pre-trial motions. Every time they say, oh, the way the judge walked today and not good, then they go upstairs to the Supreme Court and file such a warrant. They say the judge committed a reversible error, so they're asking the Supreme Court to review and revise the judge's error on the issue of the law. Or they carry prohibition of, say for instance, you say, oh, I won't bring my witness. Then the judge says, no, the other witness disqualified. Then that party whose witness disqualified, then that party go upstairs to the Supreme Court. My reason is for us to put time frame. How long does it take, or will it take for the Supreme Court to hear such petition? Because in the Gracious Ra case, how do you call it? The Gracious Ra with Finabona, when the asset recovery team took an action, Gracious Ra ran to the Supreme Court and prayed for a writ of prohibition. The court issued a temporary writ. Because I think it's called the alternative writ. The court that issued that writ, it said, return to status quo ante. Meaning, go back to the place where you were as though you have not taken any action. That means, give all Gracious Ra property back that you confiscated until we hear whether their petition for prohibition has merit. The Supreme Court took 9 months to hear that one petition. When the Supreme Court finally decided after 9 months that asset recovery had authority to act, but they must do it in keeping with law. When asset recovery went back for those assets that they wanted to confiscate pending conviction, if there will be any, the properties were disposed of.
No.
You can see those cars in this town. The properties were disposed of. And in the Samuel 12 case or other cases, like the Capitol building fire, so now, by the time the judge, by the time one party take one action, one party run to the court, the Supreme Court, then the Supreme Court send instruction down, hold on yet until we hear what these people came for. Then the Supreme Court has said hold on yet. Then they take 8 to 7 months to review what the thing they put went for after elections. All the remedial processes, all the pre-trial motions can delay the prosecution of the main case. Once the trial begins, production of witnesses, testimonies, counter arguments, you know that 2-3 weeks. And right there, they do final argument, and the judge charges the jury to go come with a verdict. But all the pre-trial motion. So I am consulting my colleagues and talking to some legal people so we can put time frame. If the only place the Supreme Court has time frame, that on electoral matters.
Mm-hmm.
If there were no time frame on electoral matters, an electoral matter will stay 3 years before the Supreme Court. It is delaying justice in this country. And this kind of reform for good governance, for speedy justice, we are looking at. And that's my focus when we return. Part of my focus when we return.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also asked for your view on the Samuel 12 and others case, where it is now.
My only confusion with the Samuel 12 case is that jury were alleged to have been tampered with. What kind of tampering? Who complained? And what kind of tampering? Was it bribery? Was it promise for promise or consideration that impaired some people's judgment?
Well, it is not stated in the report.
So maybe when we know, then we'll know. But for now, the court rule, Samuel 12, should be a free man until otherwise.
Well, his lawyer wants them to go to the Supreme Court. He himself is not inclined to go into the Supreme Court on this other matter. What will you advise?
I think reason will prevail with him. Reason will prevail with him. I'm happy that we're taking people to court. But taking people to court is not about being guilty. Justice is to afford both parties to prove their case.
But there is a certain perception in the public that if the government doesn't win the case, then it's like, oh, the government is serious. They are playing on the minds of the Liberian people, they're compromising.
You know, if 2 persons were fighting outside, and we go pat them. Unfortunately, 1 person died. That goal went to go to. The death that resulted from it, we can be charged with involuntary manslaughter. If somebody went subconscious or unconscious out there, oh, say no, Dillon, prepare your car, like the person. You put a person in your car, and something happened to that person, the country will not forgive you. You mean, you wicked. But if you put that person in your car, and you take the person to the hospital, and the medical details can prove
they say death before arrival.
Death before arrival, that good you did, they can charge you because you are not an ambulance. You go up, an ambulance will be applying first aid, or they know what to be doing, right? But so what I'm trying to say here is, when you take people to court that to prove their guilt, and they have the opportunity to prove their innocence, that's justice.
That in which way the court rules.
When the court rules, that's justice unless credible, provable foul play can be established.
you are big on the narcotics thing, illegal drugs. You have even a place running to help rehabilitate people who have been affected. I don't know how many cases now, but we had 19 million, 300 plus million. We don't know the exact figure with 300 because we keep hearing different things. There are some two drums that say we didn't hear any kind of good reports on that one from Roseville and all of that. This whole fight, as it is going, what is your general view of how things are playing out? I know you, the senators, were concerned. You invited the joint security the other time and all that. There have been videos here, threats here and there. Today we saw a response from the president's son that says the guys actually contacted him before the release of that video and all that stuff. Where are we?
The issue about the cocaine seen in our country is embarrassing, it's scary, and I will use my favorite word, very troubling. Since 2021, I opened the rehab center. Every month, not less than $3,000 of my salary goes to cater to our fellow citizens on drug, 15 miles by drug abuse.
And that may even be small because I saw down there.
Yeah, I said minimum. Because we have 18 staff over there. The people, when we take them in there, they eat 3 times a day, they're feeding, they're sheltering, they're medical issues.
No, I'm sorry, I know it's cost intensive.
Thank you. So I invested in this issue to ensure our country gets cleansed of drug issue. I know it's impossible or very challenging. But when we do a drug bust, like the cocaine case, it must be very serious to all of us. And at this point in time, no politics. I want to commend the security people for the progress made so far. I think we should push further. I may make an unpopular statement here. I will call on the Justice Ministry and the Joint Security. Anybody, especially people whose opinion can move the country, whether you are a politician or whether you are a media person at Dillon, whether you are close to Joseph Walker at Darius Dillon, what is security people doing it? What? Anybody who say the name they call him, another real name, a person of interest to get a real name. That's the only way we gave these people time, chance to investigate properly. If what they're doing is when the 90 million drug bust was announced, 2 days after, the DEA director or acting head went to MICA, to the Ministry of Information, and made a statement to the effect that they had 6 persons as persons of interest, but they were withholding their names. Send that one statement, in my view, ill-informed statement, ill-advised statement. It made everybody in the country to start calling their own names. Oh, they won't call it now because the other person is that. Oh, no, because they're hiding certain names. When you're doing an investigation like this, you do regular update. Even if you have some people of interest or even some of your suspects and you are not ready to name them, the proper thing to do is we are pursuing people of interest that will lead us to the perpetrators to bring them to justice. And as we apprehend them or we get them, we will update the public. That will have been more reasonable. That statement was either violent or order. That statement gave rise to everybody speculating and smearing people all over the place. So, in order to give these people the space and the time to do the work, and while we will watch out for how they are doing the work properly, I would think it is not a suppression of freedom of speech.
Because that's the question I was going to ask. In these things, people would just talk. People would say stuff.
If the man down the street call any name, yeah, I'm talking of people whose voices are consequential.
They should be calling to answer who they know.
If Darius Dillon said the people whose name they calling are not the real names, my voice is believable to some people. Some people are angry at my voice. That's politics, I can understand that. But if I take the microphone and say the names they're calling are not the real name, it means I know the real name. I should be a person of interest. I'm calling on the Ministry of Justice and the Joint Security people to do that. That's the only way this investigation and prosecution will form its proper perspective. Because everybody's still waiting for certain name. And one certain name called a name, not a real name. This is hurting the investigation as well.
Before we take calls, just in 2 minutes, I know I have to bring it back, and then we'll do an open show so that people can ask you any question and all that. But you always posting about 2029, and I don't know whether it's from a place of fear or I don't understand. But you seem to. It appears to me like perhaps it is touching you, it is moving you when people threaten you with 2029 or threaten current government or past government, whatever with 2029. This whole 2029 thing, what is the psychology of it? What is it doing to you politicians?
No, it's not doing anything to me particularly. Personally, nothing. Zero.
But you always post about it.
Yeah. It's a jest. I'm joking.
Okay.
But let me tell you about this thing about 2029. I've said it in the studio. I've said it to my rescue people outside microphone. I've said it to some of my partisans where we meet. You see, when you are government, have checklist of things to do every day. Don't join opposition with talking. Opposition will talk. That's opposition role. Opposition just need to see whether the light gone off air or no light board there. Opposition say current gone. That's all. The government has to go put a light on. Then you take opposition talking point for talking about light in there. When the road not good, opposition will say the road not good. I'm speaking from experience as a very consequential person from opposition. Government must have checklist of things and not join debate, talking point debate for 20. Because every time you check a list of something you've done as a government, you are already doing your 2029 by working, not by talking. But it seems like we not elevate 2029 business. We from the government have elevated 2029. And in my view, look, when I was elected in 2019, I knew that there was an election waiting for me in 2020. I wasn't thinking about that election. 2019 election was tough. Forget about Polita, people talk Polita election with me or against Polita was easy. No. 2020 election was the easiest election I was into. Because when I won in 2019, I did not focus on 2020 election. I focused on what I would do every day that would make the country desire to keep me there in 2020. So I declared my answer, published it. First time from the legislature for any official entering office to do. Publicly announced dollar and cent how much lawmakers making to break the taboo that been hanging over the country here. Started fighting for the Senate to remove people like Wabudigi and who were not legally qualified to be in government. To get the Senate, rally the Senate under a popular George Weah government to deny some judge we have nominees who we believe were not fit for the job. Then CDC started having reclaim muscle rally all to SKD to moving for them in 2020. CDC started panicking. 2020 March, the federal SKD, ATS, in preparation of election in October to moving. In fact, they were calling me vacation senator. My friend Kalasco King in the studio, Dillon will be the shot that senator. And they were, and somebody said, yeah. So it was CDC that then the public out there, they said we want more of Dillon. It will get $5 Dillon. There's the people who are supposed to be craving for you because of what you're doing. Not yourself running to your own election. No. So it is my view. 2020 will play itself. And lastly, one of the reasons I don't bother myself with 2020.
2029.
2020 now. It will play itself. How will it play itself? It will play itself. I saw 2023 election. 2021 CPP was
because of time, because there's a whole lot to talk there. Thomas Fowler has come on your side. A whole lot of different things have shifted. So we really need to talk more.
Right.
So let's just leave it. Let's take 2 calls. 777-700 995 555 995 995. We were stuck in traffic, so yeah.
However, I won the election. To predicate upon this, we always want to identify ourselves with a symbol of the party anywhere we go. So MDR, whether I become floor member, no matter how the situation, I'm a full-fledged member. And I know one day I'll rise up in the party to be a leader of that party. I'm very much optimistic.
Are you not seeing in the party as a leader?
I'm a leader, but when I'm talking about leadership, there are elected posts. You got the political leader, you have the party chairman, you got the governing council, and all the positions are positions of trust. And we may contest whenever the primary or convention come about. And I'm very much optimistic that one of these days, no matter the situation, how long it takes, we're going to be a leader of that party. The whole of elected post.
One of the key things that you just mentioned was the issue of Godfather. It has, over the course of last week, a couple of weeks, there has been quite an issue with different people with different views. Does Nimba have the Godfather?
Well, this was a symbolic title refer or confer on Senator Johnson. So in our culture, so when the title is bestowed on an individual personality and the personality dies, and the people repose confidence whosoever succeeding him, symbolically he got to be referred to as that. But God doesn't have father. And interestingly, I want you to go and research on your Facebook or other Facebook posts or other media outlets. Since that old man made that declaration, I challenge anybody. No other in Nima ever report that. I challenge it.
Which declaration?
To say, Koga, you are the Godfather we look up to replace Senator Johnson. You are. So we eyes that you always.
Who the old man said?
The man who said it is a parliament chief, and he is the oldest since 1980 election. He is the only person that serving now as a parliament chief. All the others were appointed. And besides that, he spoke from the cultural background. Not just something he just got up. People are permeating with negativities that Koga went and bribed the old man with $400. Do I know that somebody that can buy popularity? People who know me in Liberia, do I know that somebody that buys sentiment? I am not. I don't believe in that. Let me tell you something. Anybody, a politician who provide fundings for other people to gain popularity is a myth. that relationship can last. Once the money finish, it finish. So I don't believe in it. If you ask a journalist at the Capitol building, when I was representing serious awards, and some other awards came, I rejected it. I said, no. I don't want to be pacified with something I don't endeavor. And the first one has said, oh, of course, yes, that's my position. So I'm saying there to say that some people will, convince crowd. Now, we're not even expecting that the delegate statement or the decision reached by the elders. So people, you will see politicians coming out. What really happening, I think, is a popularity game or popularity contest. People want to showcase that they have NIMA under control. Anything they say is a final. And therefore, anybody coming out or emerging to be popular is an art robbery that they want to undermine and fight one way or other. For me, I believe in destiny. Number one, people talking about Godfather deserve politically, you must have people center, you must deserve the quality of the people. Somebody who won election consistently 3 times, 2011, 2017, 2030, 2023, that person not popular. You think the people who elected the person didn't know, they don't get a mindset in different government? And the first thing you should look at, I have served as a political party chairman, People's Unification Party. Senator Nugwe can attest. I produced 6 representatives with 2 senators. Then you say I don't have political dividend in Liberia. The move we have made at the legislature, the strife, the histories are fresh. These are political moves. It means that you must have the voice of command, and you must command respect among your colleagues. So you look at somebody that you say the person trying to steal Godfather. Godfather, what salary does he have? Nothing. But the people believe that their tradition should be respected. So you go and have thousands of meetings, the error remain the same. You say, well, we cannot change that decision.
Were there meetings held to kind of alter that decision of declaring you the Godfather of the
Honors. They use surrogates to insult me on the Facebook. I'm a confucianist. All set of adjectives. What was the essence of the GIPO meeting? The citizen did not call. Citizen can say, well, we're inviting you here for so program. But you impose program on the people. Only to discuss Godfather issue all over. If you listen to anybody who behave otherwise, we'll make sure we'll bring you down. We'll do this, we'll do that.
Who was saying that?
The minister.
You mean
Martin? Yeah. Throwing a lot of jobs. But I thought it would have been an interior minister of internal affairs, he role to mobilize elders and chiefs. So every minister in every government had a role to play. That's the role of the internal affairs minister.
I listened to this one. He said he was acting on behalf of the vice president's office to carry the motorbikes there.
What become of the senator of the county? If you want to talk to the citizen of Nimba County, what become? If you don't refer, if you think you don't prefer me, your point is there as a senator. Senator, look, I want to meet with your people. This is the message. I'm a son of the county, and therefore, I'm not in position to travel there now. But I want you to go and convey this message to the superintendent. Let her call off or chiefs and elders. Simple. Very simple thing. You understand? So I don't think there is anything that somebody would say this or that. So that what I said, the popularity contest.
Why is this Godfather thing an issue? I've seen a whole lot of different write-ups, different representatives. I saw a write-up from Senator Twine before. I'm not seeing it again. I mean, different claims and counterclaims that about this. There are others who think, given the fact that the vice president is the highest ranking official from the county, that would automatically make him the Godfather.
Is he elected for Nima or you were elected for Liberia? Every country had a head. When legitimately the legislator are the spokesperson who represent the constituency, the constituents within the constituency. They are the direct person. Any issue, you refer to them. They get back to the people that what they were elected for. If anything went on wrong that the country is not benefiting, who will advocate? It's not the vice president, not the president, but the senator and the representatives in the respective electoral districts. So we got to make it clear the chain. You understand? We must follow the chain. When you follow the chain, there is no problem. But when you want to deviate and carry on span of control, I had a serious reservation on that. What are we elected for? I was elected to represent the people. Whosoever want to talk to the people of the country should pass through the country officials. We were informed the senator, the superintendent, madam superintendent, the vice president will be coming in Nima, so we want you to mobilize your chiefs. And we will be present. That's how it's supposed to be. Respect our two-way streets. You give it to us, we give it to you.
But others don't seem to have an issue with whoever he wants to use to talk to the people. It is only you saying what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe I'm fighting for my right, my place. You got elected as a senator or now elected as a superintendent. The president said going in the county, even if they wrote the superintendent will turn inform the county official, which are the delegate. The senator got followed, the representative got followed. They will tell the person you got to mobilize in huge sum to receive for the president or the vice president to receive a ration welcome. But in the first place, even if you did, you consulted the superintendent did not inform us. It's questionable. Because in the first place, it appears to the public that there is no good working relationship. Under no condition that the president will go, that there is no condition that the president will go in the country, vice president will go without. If one of the senators two of the senators don't go, one will go by all means. It shows sign of unity. So some of us, most especially me, they don't put it in my context. I'm not satisfied by that. Yes.
Have you made these things known to the vice president's office?
Well, I don't want to open to talk one thing over and again. It's an open secret. And it persists.
There is this thought, that you are the problem. There is this thought that you are the problem in Nimba. Perhaps you have some ambition, you trying to rival Jeremiah Kuhn as vice president. It's a whole lot of there's a huge segment of Nimba citizens who perceive you, who see you that way.
Only those who feel that they have close proximity with power or to power. But the indigenous in Nimba will not think that way. So it's not true. The Nimba don't have their feelings. If they have problem, they will express it. So it's not true.
But some of them we see on social media.
And what I'm saying now, compare the people who are not on social media, who get the numbers. You see that one thing people don't understand. You may portray me negatively in a media landscape. That's how I used to win election in my district. They will say the worst thing about me on social media. Oh, go in the district, people say that MN1. And some people will be surprised, 2032. They will say the worst thing, they even tie their face. But the outcome of the election is what matters. The reason here, the Nima people believe that they let somebody who is truthful, who doesn't miss your word. When it's wrong, you say it's wrong. When it's correct, you say it's correct. That's all they need. Look, in Nima, whether you get your tons of money and you want to portray that you get the money to use on the people, that in the meantime you can be disappointed and frustrated.
Is anybody doing that?
Well, I'm just telling you what the Nima people, how the Nima people look like. You understand? How the Nima people look like. We just need respect for each other at all. Oh, you I came in your studio. Can I dictate to you in your studio? No. So when you ask me a question, if I'm not able to answer it, I'll politely tell you again. But I can't come here, encroach. I say, your party, my all over here, anything I say is the final. Then it mean that I'm bypassing the respect. And you don't do that. In a civil war, everybody should respect each other's space. And some of us, we don't pretend on issue. We are very clear. If I have this tax, you know that I get 7 years more, 7 years and for a few months as senator. So when the time comes and the Nimapo realize that I'm not performing, they will move me. So they shut down, therefore, I should be recognized as that senator, and I should talk and speak on behalf of the people of Nima without fear and favor. Simple.
You were in the county that you made some donations, because right after you left, or maybe you were still there, there was donation of motorbikes to chiefs.
I just starting of it. Anytime I made visitation, my own, I just agree the people, I say, my poor, I get money. I will not lie to you. I came for to eat together and joke and merry me. And then little thing I got, I gave it to them for development and what have you. Simple. Right after that, you will see people going with fleas or motorbike. Not the first time. The first one, 100 motorbike went first. With kings, with hearts, different things. And interestingly, the reason why Nima County got 2 senators, traditionally, there are certain areas in Nima that Nya will go that I will not attend.
Why?
Because the culture backgrounds. And there are certain areas that Samia Goga will go, Nya may not likely go. But what we discuss there, I will share with him as a senator for to govern the country. They gone 3 times, 2 times in Mabaya. Zegle, they went to Sabo into trying to belittle me. Get motorbikes of people and ill discuss me. But the traditional people know the culture in the country. So they feel, people, everybody is knowing what is unfolding. That people want to make me unpopular. But I can tell you, say, it's difficult. The only except Samia Koga engaged in any voodoo, any African medicine or what have you, that's the only way they will come on me. If not, I will not be afraid because my hand in anything.
No, but people always thought that you, Koga, were involved in juju. They're very afraid of you, that Koga may be a juju man or someone who does voodooism.
My pastor, Pastor Ellie, Christ Inspirational Pentecostal Church in Wukan. I'm speaking, I believe, if you're listening, you listen to me well. And you are a journalist, I'm asking you to go and ask the church, beside the pastor, the congregation. I stood on a pulpit and told God that you, God, I challenge you. People say you are the only person when somebody trusts, you can't do nothing, you can't let the person down. The way I'm going to election, if Samia Koga have anything in the darkness, don't make me to win. I lie down on the pulpit. I'm telling you, I say, Pastor Ellie, and when you call him and ask him, if in the first place, any gathering that I go, when they put me on the stage, the first thing I say, hallelujah. God is great all of the time. And that what carry me through. So, you see, when you believe in God sincerely, you can be tough. People can be afraid of you. People who engage in anything will be afraid of you.
Are there other leaders who you think may be engaged in juju?
I don't know.
The fact that you mentioned juju, that unless you're involved in it, doesn't mean that others are involved.
No, I'm not involved. Like what I'm talking. I'm not involved.
But do you think others are involved? And they could want to
whether they are involved now, I don't know. Because you can never discover the taste of a dog when you are not eating your dog. How will I insinuate that? But I'm saying that people people perceive you to be somebody who involved in medicine. I say no. And I give you a reference. The entire pastor in Nima County, and when you ask them, wherever I have gone, that never call God. It is God who gave him the power, not nobody.
But you are also a traditional person.
Granted. Being a traditionalist, it does not mean that you should be involved in unscrupulous acts that undermine, take away people's life, take away people's spirit. You understand? Interestingly, let me tell you something. When I wore that traditional something, the whole clothes was soaked with holy oil.
Huh?
Yes.
But all the
Because
stuff-
it's a tradition.
It was even at that place that people thought, yeah.
No, because it's a
They're jumping.
tradition. Let me tell you something. One of the reasons why we fail in Africa is because we always forgetting our culture. And one of the traditions is I respect the culture. But the mind is a one. If you go in the culture, in the tradition, and they're trying to do anything on the contrary, you sincerely say, yeah, you're cool here. The other part can't go. You clear because you are designated your life to God. What I'm telling you, Julius, anybody to check around me, all of people that have a relationship with, find out before, those that have had relationship with before. As you say, there's Samuel Coca man you've been with before. They may involve in medicine. They will tell you, say, no, that man is clear. The only thing that you will see me taking bath with is salt. You know, Christian can take bath with salt. They can have salt bath. Because, I'm not scared. It is in the Bible. Oh, they can, yeah.
No. Things can happen when you. Sometimes people see.
Okay, so why you can read Psalm? You read Psalm because to provoke or to prevent your enemy from conquering you. In the Bible, it doesn't mean that you're afraid. David never prayed for your enemy to survive. He said, let your children eat grass. So I believe in the Bible. Even though I'm not too school in the Bible, but sincerely my heart.
Kind of prayer like they be praying for your enemies to die.
Why will you go against somebody?
So I pray to be praying for your enemies to die.
No, nobody. The father I don't go against somebody. Nobody should go against me.
This is the OK conversation. OK FM 99.5. We have with us Senator Samuel Koga. So let's go back to Nimba. What are some of the issues? Yeah, Nimba overwhelmingly, heavily voted you, brought this government to power. The numbers were really huge. Do you think Nimba produced a vice president that Nimba is benefiting from the government as issue?
I don't think so.
Why do you say so?
Very good. You got a president of the Republic of Liberia from Lofa County. The deputy speaker is an elected post. I don't want to comment on that. You got finance minister. You got central bank governor. You have LRA commissioner general. You got LTA. You got the chief of the army staff of the Republic of Liberia. And the list go on. You should have presidency and have oppositions. How many votes, if you compare and contrast Lofa and Nimba vote? Nimba produced a higher vote. Equal work for equal pay. Then you got Pete vice president. I'm sorry for the expression. I'm not saying it because it looks small. We need more. I'm being very frank with you. Let's be sincere.
And this was a similar thing that Johnson used to say against the CDC government.
Yeah. But the idea is CDC government or whosoever government for Unity Party to survive in this election, who came first? And Nimba, let's be very sincere. Your parquet cow and you eat cow intestine. Who will eat the neck, the liver, the more greasy part? It's unfortunate. And we'll say it and say it again. You understand? People, if any Nimba coming talking here and there, maybe they only doing it for favor because they had the opportunity, your friend and not in position, so they're happy. Our people not happy. We work hard. Everybody how hanging in a country. The second round, we know what Nimba did. Let somebody challenge me and say la. It's not Nimba that made Unity Party to win at last. Let's be sincere to the disco. Why will we be always the one that people look up to when it comes to politics?
These people you're talking about from Lofa are competent for the jobs. other people from NIMBA are occupying ministerial posts and other high-level posts. It is mostly about development. Talking about development, NIMBA is getting its fair share of social and county development funds, whatever it is called, and people are praising the superintendent there of carrying out development initiatives and all of that. What more?
I want you to read Article 5 of the 1986 Constitution verbatimly and let the public hear what it says. And then besides, you talking about development in the county, which fundings? The county social development fund is the one that developing the county. And it was legislated. So it's not central government money.
Yeah, but other governments may not have used it for those kinds of purposes, the kinds of development that are going on. Is there real development going on?
We're talking about appointment first. When the citizen, the reason why the issue of human resource capacity building is necessary is because they are dividend. When your children are educated,
you have the Minister of Mines and Energy.
Minister of Mines and Energy.
You have, I think, the energy bonus from the Navy. You have the Labor Minister. These are key sectors.
No. When you talk about ministry in every given country, that they refer to them as mover and shaker. You talk about the justice minister. You talk about the finance minister. You talk about the minister of local government. You talk about the military. These are places. Yeah, national security, their reports or intelligence is subject to acceptance or rejection. But finance minister, with the law that giving power, that power that giving to them, they can sit down to them and create budget shortfall. The whole nation will suffer. The central bank of the Republic of Liberia tell you say today there is no money, no Liberian dollar, US dollar in the bank. There will be strangulation. The LRA, they are the custodian, the recipients of all government taxes that develop this country. They can determine whether they collect tax or don't collect tax.
Wow, this issue of jobs and the county.
Then you look at the civil service director, the man who is responsible for employment in the Republic of Liberia from Lofa. I am not trying to be somehow tribalistic or sectionalism, no. But I want you to read Article 5, where it says, let the public understand where is Article 5. Position to base on regional balances.
Let me see that.
To avoid tribalism, nepotism. Maybe I talk as though you get it.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, read it, I beg you.
Article 5.
Yes.
It is titled Principles on Unity and Culture.
Fair.
The Republic shall aim at strengthening the national integration and unity of the people of Liberia, regardless of ethnic,
Yes,
regional, or other differences, into one body politic, and the legislature shall enact laws promoting national unification and the encouragement of all citizens to participate in government. That's it.
now all?
B. Protect and promote positive Liberian culture, ensuring that the policy and national progress are adopted and developed as an integral part of the growing needs of the Liberian society. C. Take steps by appropriate legislation and executive orders to eliminate sectionalism and
Very good.
and such abuses of power as the misuse of government resources, nepotism,
Yes.
and all other corrupt practices.
Thank you very much. You see it? So if you look at one county and get real mover and shaker in government from that area and the president from there, they can strangulate this country one day. And the constitution abolishes that. It's happening. Nobody talking about it. So what is the constitution that you upholding to? Because you said to the Liberian people during your inauguration that conscientiously you will uphold to the constitution. So help you God. Are we on,
Best
are we
ability.
the best ability? Are we on track? We are not on track.
But the
So as a result, you know, when I see some of my
but the
colleagues,
others who say, talk for the whole country, they just say Nimba. There are a whole lot of counties that don't have anything of such.
the first thing, I'm a senator that represents Nima County before I become senator of the nation. You understand? When you are seated and your legs are stretched, then you look outside to see who all is out of fan seat for. But I'm sitting in a kind of a jamming situation. My people on my bike, people who voted, that will make commitment to, that this government will be proud to us. And those people are not seated. Every day they on the fence. Qualified in buying. Is it a curse to support a government? No. Not because few group of people from Nimba in position today, so we should be complacent. If they are complacent, fine. They left with them. But those that are not in position, I should advocate as a senator.
Is it not possible that you are from Nimba maybe playing a facetious game to the public? Let me get a PL and get issue and you be doing the firing.
No. Nimba, let me tell you something. When Prince Johnson was there, I used to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, you and him always.
On policy. It's not because from there, Prince Johnson called me to the voice of my man, can cause? I say, yeah. He said, when you talk to me, that's true. But you're not supposed to tell me. I said, okay, sorry. But the idea here is that we all are elected officials. Today, ask Samuel Koga, if you're doing any wrong thing that I don't talk, I'll be fooling you. Because I want position for you. Because if we went by home, the people say, but why they men were doing the thing, you know, advancing. That the reason why I can be telling you some of these things, I don't hate you. And he realized that at last, I was in my office. Senator Johnson sent for me. May his soul rest in peace. The little boy who he sent, there was a camera brought to him. Batua, saying, and I told my COS, I want you to accompany me to the senator office. We got there. I said, Senator, you call me. I know you have something to say. But should I recall you? He said, yes. Now, why you see that recording live? Say, anything I'm saying it free, willing it. And the recordings are there. Listen to it. He used to have differences on political issue. That even led me to have left NUDP to go to PUP. So in Lima, we are discuss issue, politics. We got different political parties. You see, Musa Berete representative today is a political leader. When you go Lima, the citizens receive him and welcome him. The vice president entered the camp there, the whole hall filled. When I go there too, the people come to me. Seriously. And say Musa want to be somehow segregated, where you will say, well, I'm in power. Anybody that go around Koga, one of your authority, the chiefs, the presidential appointee, nobody should go around Koga. When they say the funny part about I don't want to go that route.
No, let us go there.
The funny part about the people say, well, they say we should not go there. There is no more secret.
Who has done that?
I don't want to name. I'm only telling you something.
That they have stopped people from coming around you.
I don't want to name. I don't want to name.
But you are a straightforward man.
I don't want to name. I'm telling you. I don't want to name. No. At the appropriate time.
Okay.
I will tell the citizen.
Let me take you to the relationship between you and the late Senator Prince Johnson, because there's this perception you were against him, you were undermining him and all that stuff. Now he's not alive, so you want to act like you are like a second version of Prince Johnson and all of that. What was your you already started talking about how the relationship was. You could critique him, he could critique you, but yet a whole lot of people say that about him, that yeah, he would talk, but he was that kind of person. He would talk about you, but then it's still like talking more.
You know, it's deeper than you think. Okay. Like in the case of Thomas Sankara and Blaise Compaoré, they all grew up with Thomas Sankara's father. and they joined the military together. And fortunately, Thomas Sankara took power. But he and Blaise Compaoré were friends. That he could walk in a bedroom anywhere, anytime. But surprisingly, what happened? Thomas Sankara, Blaise Compaoré walked to Thomas and said, give me the chair, I need to say that they are friends. He was just kidding. He bullied him, and he took over. The issue between Senator Johnson and myself, there are certain people who realize that the power Senator Johnson got and the relationship between him and myself, there was a likelihood that he could turn that authority. But people decided to go and gossip between Senator Johnson and myself. And as you said it down here, is somebody ill discuss you. And you understand? And friend of the person that you close with. Who you all you refer to them are your children. One of them kind of say, oh, Papa, the man, don't trust him, he's seeing SYZ. A dinero. The man sat and said, oh, my own blood, go and discuss me. Whereas the conversation was brought by an individual. We all went and said, well, Papa, so that you behave otherwise. I will record it in the process, and that recorder will play to him. There where our confrontation started from. He started dressing me away, dressing other people closer. So I said, well, who, me? I told him, no, it's not true. I said, well, you be me, we can gossip you.
I'm saying, what did you say in your gossip?
No, it's okay. It's a privileged conversation. Doctor and patient have privileged conversation. Lawyer and client have privileged conversation. That was a privileged conversation. So Senator Johnson took offense to that. And it continued. Last minute of time, when the war chronicle issue came, that's how he called me. Say, cause you and I used to have differences, but I don't know what really brought the confusion. He never wanted to go, to the public on that. Then he, narrated the story of Israel and the war king. And the king was surrounded by enemies. So he wanted his nephew to come. He put me in a context.
Did he feel that he was surrounded by enemies?
Of course, he said it. Listen to the recording. He said, I want you to listen to the recording, please. Listen to it religiously. And then he said, the government that I fought for did everything. Their first appearance was war chronicle against me. So I'm conquered by my enemies. And when you go and get a victory, and when you listen to the recording, people can get past it when you see it. You take your own time. I think the thing is in the public there.
The one I get, send it to my WhatsApp after the show.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I will send it to you. So, you understand? People have been preempting before that Koga is a tough gentleman. Prince Johnson being a tough gentleman, he proximity to Prince Johnson, if we don't spoil in between them, Koga may likely see the show. Those things happen. And today now, they're continuing. But for me, I don't honor anybody in my life. I don't honor people. I want to get something that is just by God. My brother, when you get popularity through God, you can't enjoy anything in that. You know that multitude of people can come to my wife and say, let me tell you something. Now my salary is in loan.
What does that mean?
I told loan. So everything go to the loan until 2027, 2028.
Took loan to do what?
Oh, that one there are my domestic affairs. You want to get into my private affair?
No, but maybe.
How about my salary loan?
To do public.
No. I used some in the 2024 election. Okay. Yeah, and I lost. Yeah. So when I tell them, I say, okay, it's true. I say I came from 3 consecutive elections consistently. So I get money. It's both reason. But I'm not somebody now that can go and give money to journalists and give money to young students. It's a curse. I can't do it. I will never do that in my life. If I will get popular, I will get popular naturally. But not to use other people against me, organization, grouping, and what have you. It's wrong. So the issue of Senator Johnson, what people were talking, even my own children, some of them, they put them against me. They insult me on radio. Then my nephew Terry, his son, they thought the worst thing about me. I was going to celebrate. He said on social media. I never commented on it. Only today I'm talking it because they will realize one day that blood is thicker than water. They will realize one day. Oh, your relative is your relative. In the first place, nobody will trust you. You say, the person that can denigrate your own relative in the public. They want much more us. But before God and man, God knows that never had any evil man for bringing using. May his soul rest in peace. Never ever. Never ever. And he knows. Senator Johnson, may his soul rest in peace. He called me 3 a.m.
Can you come closer or just?
He called me 3 a.m. on his wife's phone. So when I saw the phone, normally when there are situations, he can call me. All that you were doing in the public, when some situation have you between here, why you call me? He said, cause? I said, oh man, I come in there. I'll drive there overnight. So when he called me on the woman's phone, I said, Madam Johnson, what happened? He said, no, this is Senator Johnson. I said, yeah, what happened, Chief? He said, Koga, I'm quoting the word verbatimly. You are a radical. MDR now is slipping out of my hands. And when you come to over MDR, and that time I resigned from PUP already. That was the statement he made. If he never said it, and I tried to portray things, God is in heaven listening to us.
And his wife wasn't there.
Yes! I said, on the woman phone. I don't say bring on the phone. I say, his wife phone. Say, you are a radical. And when you come and take over MDR, I'm losing grip of the MDR.
Who was making him lose grip?
Well, he didn't tell me. He only made that statement. And I don't say I hear it. So plenty of people who say, oh, the man, because saying that he was not friendly, he was insulted. Blood is thicker than water.
You people are biological cousins?
Of course, yes. Biological cousin, yeah. From the same town. Father and brother, son. Children. Brother and sisters, children.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Then when they say that, they say it sounds bizarre for an uncle to join over the nephew body. They don't know what they're talking. Anything you don't know, leave it. Deeper Pura said. Anything not able, leave it. In the culture, the yellow bay, you can be calling yellow bay, was my grandfather. My father's father, they call Yelu. Yelu Diangbe. He was a hunter. He was a hero. When he died, that's the time they born Senator Johnson. Senator Johnson was crying throughout his child a baby time. So there was a man in Bia that told those that can interpret children, whatsoever happening to them. So when he went there, he told them, say, this man, the reason why he's crying is because the name that he's supposed to be called, Bia with, is not a name. The man, your father that was there, your uncle that was there, they call Yeru, that was a warrior. That he came so. He will be a tough warrior. Yes.
Even Prince Johnson as a child.
That Prince Johnson I'm talking about. Wow. He taking the responsibility. Once you give him the name, whatsoever that man got, everything is bestowed on him. That's how they gave Yeru the name. You understand? After they gave that name, Yeru begin well, no talking. He was tough, coming up. So the warrior spirit in Yeru came from us, the father. Not from his mother, sir. Not from his mother, not from his mother husband. In Goma play, the people from Batuo, their own ethic or tradition is to fish. They set nets, they sell basket. But the people from Tiabli are the warrior. So the fact that he yellow bearing yellow name and he died, the people of Gomable met and they asked the battle people that yellow from, the father from. He said, we are now warrior. In this town, we know our role and everybody are respected by their culture. Say yellow die, who bear the name? You, who your father name him, the name your father name after. He's supposed to, that you supposed to take the responsibility and tell who will succeed him. Okay. Now how they call me.
Oh, so they call you.
Yeah, I went to my home. Yeah, I went to my home now. They said, well,
it was not you who imposed it.
No. They say Yeru is dead. And we cannot allow the senatorial seat to go anywhere. I talk about my hometown. Mm-hmm. We cannot allow the senatorial seat to go because he never ended his term. And besides that, their name Yelu originated from your grandfather. So for that reason, we are asking people where Yelu father from, and they have said that it's not your culture. So we call you to bestow that honor on you. They did it for him one time before we came, even in Ban.
Oh, okay.
So when people sit there and say, oh, how can you join where your nephew body? It don't make sense. That's how the tradition goes. Even in Ban, they call people from our hometown and ask them, who succeeding Yelu? One of my brother there, I mean, not my brother, but my town brother now, they call him Kwokwan. He fought alongside Yelu. He said, the person that the town people mandated to succeed Prince Johnson, Koga. So the vice president reached to all those that were there. William Tuazama is one of the Tuazamans who control the throne of Tuazama today. If you went Ban, you ask for Tuazama, he is a head. Traditionally, anything you want to do, Ban, if you don't reach to him, then not go. He stay alive. They call him. He said, yeah, when my father died, they bestow the honor on me. So therefore, this man like that cannot go with the warrior. He cannot go with the title. Somebody must take charge. Now they bestow on me. But hypocrite will come in to be saying negative things. They don't understand something. They can't ask.
When we said the vice president reached to...
He reached to all of them to find out, to confirm whether it is a culture. I come in. Let me learn. I know where your question coming from.
Why was it?
Let me learn. Because we all escorted the body, the cops. Okay. So he was a representative of the president of the Republic of Liberia. In opening, he have a state funeral. Mm-hmm. You know that. So after he was convinced by the people, he ordered the army to bring the body down to perform the tradition. The vice president ordered the army, called the defense today and found out that how they ordered the body to be lifted from that stand and brought it down on the ground.
To perform the tradition.
Yeah, to perform the tradition. So how can someone perform such a tradition that was sanctioned by everybody in the presence of the vice president who represents the president of the Republic of Liberia? And they refer me to a name that you castigate. Now the reason why...
Maybe it is the first battle that you need to conquer.
Is it what?
Maybe it is the first battle that you need to conquer as a warrior.
What is the first battle?
There's this battle of... No, it is not you. It cannot be you. It's supposed to be someone else.
There is nothing there. My brother will not do tough thing in a country. Man. You know my history. I always succeed in a battle because I don't antagonize people. I don't honor mine. I do it with free spirit. I don't even fight people. The only thing I don't like is when you dare respect me. When you respect me, anything you want from me, you will get it. That's the kind of a person I am. I'm an extrovert. I'm not an introvert.
You say it as you see it.
Ah, of course.
Now, on the drug fight, I know there's another thing that you're very passionate about. When you go places in Nimba now, I mean, almost everywhere you will kind of see drugs and all of that. This whole drug fight, the different millions we've been hearing about. You made a very strong point that the president should either dismiss all the security heads or that you resign. Do you still hold that view?
Of course, I don't mince my word and I don't take my yes for no. You know, as a man or human being, when you are inconsistent, you are not respected in society. Decision had 3 theories or circles. You got certainty, uncertainty, and risk. Your ability as a leader to withstand the risk of any decision you take make you a leader. But when you take decision, family people come to you, they say, well, big is okay, I agree. Then you're not man. People will not respect you. That's your weak point there. Even when we elevate the issue further, the suspension, the subsequent dismissal, and all the people then. The president not agree.
What is the need for?
The need for is those security heads must go, head must roll. You want to get a clear picture of what really happening in this country. The fact that it happened under the regime of these guys, these security apparatus, let them step aside. You will see people will come out with real information of the trust, and the president will know, and he will know, he will take a decision.
So
but
if there should be an independent investigation void of them, and they should step aside.
Statutorily, they are responsible to carry out investigation. But let me tell you now, if a professional swimmer that has been honored sat at the wayside of the beach and the professional player got drowned, what has he done? Has he committed crime or he has breached moral conduct? So if you look at it, he has not committed crime because he's not the one that pushed the person in the water. But the fact that you were honored as a best swimmer, it is the anticipation of the public that you should rescue. The fact that he did not rescue and the person died, he's incompetent to be served in that position anymore. If a police director sat before the plenary, the Senate, and said, oh, the little boy who just hustling around here, what you expect of him, why would you arrest him? And the little boy who transported the drugs in the taxi. What are you telling me? That statement alone carried the police. It was based upon that I said, man, the president should release him of his post. And if the president does it now, then the information lingering around him, his family, and what have you, the public will believe that he part and parcel. He need to do a needful.
So you think he should take tougher measures
Of
against?
course, let me tell you something. The country interests surpass family land. Any good leader or father that shield his son or relatives in wrongdoing is not a good person. Me, if my child does wrong, I say, oh, go, let lot of echoes. I will give you a case study. My daughter, she currently in Nigeria. 2011 registration, while coming, she was on the board. Her father, all the people insulting because her park can be represented. So, my nephew, Abraham Kona, he also here. He called, he phoned me, he said, but patient, really disturbing, insulting everybody in the car. I said, oh, for true? He said, yes. I said, y'all drive to the nearest police station. Yeah. When you reach there, let me talk with the commander. So they got to Carrisburg. They drove. I called the police. I spoke with the police. I said, please jail that woman for misconduct, disorderly conduct. That's my daughter. That was spent at least 3 days there. We'll take off from there. Nobody will take you to court. I don't want. He changed so much. She started crying. I said, go to the boss and openly apologize to the people for your wrongdoing. You want to damage my reputation? She did. But she touched a J small. Before they released everybody that on board the car, they all went to the police station to appeal on her behalf. I embarrassed her because it was not a good idea. You got to set out a leadership principle that people will follow. People, you know, the reason why they think about me because I'm a straightforward person. I don't mince my word. You want to work with me, I work with you. When you say you can't work with me, I draw my line. When I'm ready to die, and when they're ready to bury, they will not say that twins, they say that Koga die. That one funeral is finished. So why am I afraid for? Their position where people can be sitting there and intimidating other people. That was not carrying this country forward. I was not carrying the country forward. Because when you go in power and go against God's will, the country had to progress. So the other poor people that today they are arrested in jail, their wives and children are crying because of the breadwinner they took. So what's about the big gang that behind it? People did not suspend them. I will be persistent. It means we all will join the civil society and other organizations to say Boakai is part. Why would further open out? Now they drop business. But the draw now have been escalated at the university level. PhD. Cookie. The degree high. So we will look into it and make sure, if not, the president should have said to be blamed. You must have control in your own country.
But others are saying he has taken tough measures.
Not tough measures, no, not tough measures.
He has suspended people.
Who? People who work on other people. Why if those people they in power and they work under them and they know fully well that they facilitated the process and they are the one that will come with findings of the investigation and they will cover them also. They don't care where they go to jail. They say they can't. Clear the tap, move the roof. The ring will fall, they fall inside there. Then we'll see where the concrete was built constructively and concrete tap.
But what if they just did not know anything about what? Sometimes people work with you, you don't know what they are doing. So it will be like trying to punish them for something that they don't do. There should be something linking them first before action be taken.
Town chief in a village. When a little boy can see the man, we came my daughter last night. And the daughter died for true. Whether that true or not, I say, go clear yourself to his house. You are no more chief until you clear yourself clear.
Huh?
The moral. Yes, the moral. They serve a deterrent. Because a leader will be an example. You are the one when children go behind the house to eat rice under the cheek. You say, I want to be the Gregory Como. Right? Because he put it director. He in a commanding position that you respect. Then you dare will say you will mend the security of the state. Police is at the airport. Immigration, let me not forget about, let me not forget this regard immigration for say. You have the LDA at the borders. Then just entering the country. They're not even small draw. But the police from Loguato to Monrovia get more than 10 gates. So you don't suspect all the things. If you're passing through the country, I mean, from different country to Liberia, both others are from both others here. Clear gate is one of the toughest. Then you have consignment trucks coming from there. Nobody detect it. Then you say the boss should not be, hell should rule. Mr. Boakai, you know me very well. You call me your son and I call you my father. I consistently supported you in the presidency. You lost 2017 election. Now you are 2023 election. You are sitting president. You are the uncle, the grandpa, the father, and everything for Liberia based on your age and experience. Don't let your surrounding to spoil your government. Clean your surrounding. I'm telling you today. The people you consider to be confident today are the ones that are misleading you. And if you continue it, it will not look good for the nation. Some people can go and say, well, for me, anything I tell the papi that what he does, I say, okay, you owe 2 million. Me, but the day I go to the papi, I can carry the document or I can do the, you owe 20,000. That the people that blocking you from making decisions are blinding you. If the decision not reach, 2029 will be difficult for you. That's my message to my partners.
There is this persistent thing that Koga wants to prove superiority in Mimba. And he has a huge portion of Mimba under his control because people like George Weah, Alexander Cummings, and other opposition leaders are still undecided on whether they will run a running mate. Okay, Weah now has said he will be the candidate, and a whole lot of people around him putting your name forward for the VP slot. So you're doing all of these things to position yourself as a possible pick. What do you say to that?
You know, nigga, you see cow, boo, they got name. You kill 15 gold here, nobody will talk about it. You kill one cow, you say, make it cow. So, the Kumi invited me, I visited him. And I know what Kumi told me. Kumi said, we need to work together. He didn't propose anything. Anytime you want to go in your country, at least you can make me part of your conversation, I mean, your tour. I said, no problem. Have I done it? No. The only person that not told me anything that allowed work together that open. I'm sorry for the former president. I only went to a house when a house got on fire. And no one thing we did now, opposition is afraid. What about the word Julius? Somebody who want to be running me to somebody will be more than the person that contesting for the presidency. Why the person tell you, say, I'm not carrying you? Some people did it in the country, they will feel it bustling everywhere. When they go so, they want to be vice presidential candidate. Every country got movement. Why being last? So I don't put my hope high up. It should be destined by God. If the vice president feel that important, we can work. If you feel he don't trust me, I don't care. You understand? I don't care. If tomorrow any opposition look at me and say, well, Koga want you this, I can't say no. The only thing I'll do, I'll go Nimba and tell the person. Even he himself, I'll go to a horse. You will be surprised. I'll drive to him and say, well, this person I held my hand and say that I should go as vice running mate. Nimba not lost. In a vice presidency, when he win, Nimba win. If I win, Nimba win. Nothing change the vice presidency from Nimba.
So you are not ruling it out?
But I think the thing clear to you, I say, if anybody tell me, say, Koga, it was based on my comportment and my association with citizens of Liberia. Not my own will. I'm not going to be blowing my own trumpet. No. I will tell you, I say, look, my brother and friend, like, I tell him frankly, I say, well, there's a situation, they say I should do X, Y, Z. But I look at, from the local thing, I think I will try. But I will never go behind. I will do it with no fully way. Clear. Yeah, go a war in Nima, I call the errors. I know majority, or let's say some will disagree. In politics, even one time petition you, don't overlook it. Now when people talking about the ghost fire story, one small, how they call it, this Chidon made to be governor, not governor for Nima County as a local. You know what you're talking? You yourself, we here before you became representative or senator, you were petitioning a little town that people can voice there, right? So what a big deal. They're trying to coerce the error. Any error that come out with publication now, the bribery. I can tell you for free. But the error, if they were going to make decision, the very place they went or recent. When they kill that cow and get out 50 motorbike, they would have stayed there to make a public statement against that. But they managed, the error said no. You see?
This is the okay conversation. Okay, a whole lot. Wow. It was good reading this show. I think a whole lot was understood, a whole lot was said, a whole lot still remains to be known. So the other side, if you reach out, we can also bring you a 777-700-995, 555-995. Let's take some calls. We have talked a lot. So what is coming up any of the issues? Let me see. I saw Councillor Darius and Dillon. Yellow. Is he a yellow too? That man, is he a fighter? Did he get fight? That other yellow man get fight too?
They're from Mont Blanc.
So am I saying
So,
they need to, are they fighters?
Of course, if for Woto Manglu, that Woto Manglu descended there.
Let me hear from what he's a fighter. But he can be writing player these days. Councillor Yellow, welcome.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you so much.
Are you a fighter or are you fighting with the pen now?
I mean, I'm a fighter. You know, when you look at the great Oya Mangbe and the man who fought alongside Oya Mangbe and Oya, that big Oya Mangbe to be made, was my great great grandfather, your name, on story, all that.
Ah, okay.
So when you talk about fighting, we hear Oya Mangbe in the Great history. Because Nima,
So, but when I made a point, that's I asked for the man who was your meeting and he was here. Wow. So they're like two fighting me.
Yeah, two fighting names. And let's be honest, like what I have said, it's just remember right. My 7 years in the jumping court in around the 10th of November 2024, and I was in the 10th of Justin in court with my driver, and we spoke, and he said to me a lot of stuff. But you know, like I listened to him meticulously about what he said. It's just the same thing about what happened to a person in the Prince Johnny Johnson. Let it be clear that at times we never agree with him. We have diversions of opinion, we will never agree on everything. But when it comes to Nima, we come together and speak for the sake of Nima.